You're catching the drift. Conservative talk, intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings. Join in the conversation. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
Hey, and thanks for tuning in to catch another edition of The Drift with me, your host, Gary Wellings. It's Monday night, and after a crazy weekend, we're heading into another crazy week with the stock market crashing on us because of people panicking. And, well, hey, welcome to the world of coronavirus and sabotage TV, MSM, Democrats, liberals, globals, elitists. What are they trying to do? Are they really trying to just sabotage? Do they really want to crash the U.S. economy, the only economy that's got the world going, and yet the mainstream media, along with the Democrats and the liberals and the globalists and the never-Trumpers, are doing everything in their power to try and keep the United States on a losing streak. They want Trump gone because he's been winning too much for us. They want us to go back to that losing streak that we had for 8 years under Obama and previously under Bush before that. Everyone needs to take a good, serious look, but oh man, it just drives me crazy. So I didn't get a chance to do a podcast. I'm just not getting to it often enough, but home from work today, and well, we'll see what happens. A lot of people are working from home these days. I just got home from work, so our company hasn't done that yet, but welcome to The Drift, and what we do on The Drift is go over the news that we put on thedailydrift.com. It's the news you need to know, so make sure you're going there and checking that out. I don't know how long a show we're going to do today, but I'm going to try and get through some of the things that have been bothering me. And the first thing we're going to do is indeed start out with coronavirus. If you saw on Friday, the president had another speech, and then I think on Sunday another update. And it's not that the federal government's doing anything wrong at this point. I think it's running better, smoother, faster than what we've seen anywhere on the mainstream media, or in politics. So, don't let it get to you. Everyone needs to stop panicking. I see some stores with the shelves being cleaned out. And I'm going to tell you a little story because last week it really hit me. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday last week. I went shopping just to pick up some normal items. I go once a week normally to the grocery store, pick up some stuff. And the Kroger by me in Hamburg Township was no problem. The only oddity was the toilet paper section was basically sold out. The stock boys were sitting there scratching their heads trying to understand what they're going to do next. But the rest of the store was good. And it wasn't an hour later. I have a friend who drives Uber, and he said to me, he sent me a picture, and then he called me and he said, "What the heck, man? Ann Arbor Kroger is decimated." The pictures showed the empty shelves. And I told him, well, hey, I was just at the Hamburg Kroger an hour ago and didn't have any problem, just head back home. He was in Ann Arbor working, obviously, very liberal city. Texts me and sends me some pictures from, South Lyon, where he lives north of Ann Arbor. And the shelves were like my Kroger, full, no problems, no issues. And I thought, well, those crazy people in Ann Arbor, The next day at work, talking with a group of people, keeping our distance, right? And the one lady says, I couldn't find anything at the Kroger. Their shelves were literally cleaned out. And I said, well, where do you live? She said, Royal Oak. And I said, oh, liberal town, right? And so I've been asking for the last 5-6 days now, hey, how's the stores? Oh, it's fine by me. Huh? Conservative area, conservative county, conservative city. Hey, how's it by you? Oh, the store shelves. We're a liberal town, liberal city, liberal part of the state. And I think you can attribute that really to what people are watching and the message that they're getting. I would say that's got to be it, right? If you're watching liberal news stations that have an agenda of trying to destroy the economy, take down the president, and do whatever, these are the same people that are wishing. I've got what I used to think was a really good friend on Facebook who's got Trump derangement syndrome so badly that he's wishing for people to die because of corona. And I called him out on it. I haven't heard from him since, but I'm like, dude, that's pretty sick. You're hoping for an economy to crash, to hurt America, so that Trump doesn't get reelected. You're hoping for people to die from a coronavirus, an epidemic, a pandemic, whatever you want to call it. That's just sick. But that's what liberals, Democrats, that's where they are today. They literally are so brainwashed, caught up. I don't know. I don't even know what to call it. Because I think they're just literally watching this nonstop CNN, ABC, MSNBC, NBC garbage that they've become brainwashed. They can't think straight anymore. They're literally becoming automatons for the media and the left. Use some common sense, man. You can hate the president all you want, but the economy was going good until, a couple weeks ago, pandemic. You know, people need to keep it in perspective, and it doesn't matter how many times we say it on Twitter, how many times we say it on Facebook. People are not paying attention. They're just falling into this trap that somebody's pushing, some agenda. Is it the globalists? Is it George? Or put your tinfoil on, whatever you want. Somebody is pushing an agenda to bring down the world economy, especially to bring down the United States of America, because they want to get rid of Donald Trump. Oh, Gary, you're just being hysterical. You're thinking of conspiracies. Am I? When you have an economy that is as robust as it's a steady economy, the assets are good, employment is good, everything was going good in this economy. There was nothing that anybody could do to touch it. Or was there? Yeah, I see what you're thinking, right? Now you think, wait a minute. You know, they tried everything they could to get rid of Donald Trump, the impeachments, hit him upside the head with everything you could possibly hit him with. Nothing was sticking to him. And people had started saying it a few months back. We need a good recession to get rid of Trump. That's what. But you know, not so easy to get a depression when you have an economy that is as good as this. So what do? What powers in the world, what groups in the world, what elitist, rich, power-hungry, mad cult, whatever you want to call it, is out there in the world pushing for this? And why are they pushing so hard that they would try to hurt lives, try to bring down an economy? What would make anybody want to do that? Somebody with a lot to hide, folks. Somebody with a whole lot to hide. Because who in the world in their right mind could argue with it's not like the United States is out terrorizing the world. We're not pushing our troops anywhere. We're trying to pull them back. The United States wants to make money. When we make money, everybody makes money. But there's somebody in this world, some group of people, some organizations that are trying to throw a monkey wrench into this comeback of the United States of America. And they've succeeded. Today here in Michigan, last week they told us schools are closed for the kids for the next, all public schools closed until April 6th, I think. For now, that's the target date that the kids will go back. So they're going to have a couple extra weeks off aside from their spring break, right? So 2-3 weeks. And it's all right. I can understand, right? If you want to nip it, don't think that I don't believe that this is serious. I know the coronavirus is serious. How deadly it is, we don't know yet because we haven't tested enough people. I mean, and my theory is that now the Chinese are saying, start it in November, not December. If that's the case, there was plenty of people traveling near Wuhan, in Wuhan, who made it back to the States and over to Europe and everywhere else around the globe before anybody even knew this, before the first cases came out of China. And if that's the case, it's already here. There are probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in this country alone who have it or had it in some form or another. Many of us probably have had it and didn't know it because the symptoms can be mild to nothing or If you're immunocompromised or older, you might end up in the hospital. You might end up dead if you don't get the proper treatment. And even then, it just happens, right? But in the United States right now, we're thinking of 69, 70 odd, probably by now mid-70s in this country since this began. And I'm going to say your first Americans came home with this probably in January, if not December. And so did we have some respiratory failures prior to this being called coronavirus, Wuhan flu, whatever you want to call it? Don't know. If we weren't testing for it, people might have been dying since December here in the United States, and we didn't know it. We should consider ourselves lucky that Donald Trump did what he did when he put in the restrictions and travel restrictions that the Democrats hated him for, right? Oh, they hated him for. Called him a xenophobe, racist. He doesn't like Chinese people, so he's going ahead and he's doing this, right? But my theory is you're going to see, as more and more testing gets done, you're going to see skyrocketing numbers of people who are infected with the coronavirus, or I don't know if you have traces of it after you've had it and are safe to be around again. But it's going to skyrocket. And it's probably going to skyrocket around the world because I'm sure it's already out there. There's nothing we can do to stop it. And in most places, if you're in a big city, if you're in the suburbs, and whether it be Europe, America, Africa, wherever, it's probably already out there. A lot of people had it, didn't know it, passed it on to someone else who had it, didn't know it, passed it on to great granny who may have died, but they didn't think it was coronavirus, so they probably wrote it off. She was due. She was old. No, we won't even go there. I know you're looking at me like, isn't that what the Democrats and the crazy globalists want? They want the old people to die anyways. Well, we're not going down that rabbit hole right now. But it's an issue, and you're going to see that. And I want people to be prepared because this panic has got to stop. The panic at the supermarkets, the panic over toilet paper, dumb. The panic over not having things, of hoarding things. The panic of closing down restaurants and everything. I understand. If you're gonna do that, let's give everybody a 2-week staycation, right? Let's just shut it, including the stock market. Everybody shuts down. Everything stops right now. Everybody go home. Take a couple weeks off. Obviously, the guys running the power plants and those kind of things can't. But send home everybody for 2 weeks. Just say, don't go to the restaurant. Let's get this thing worked out of the system. If that's what you're going to do, then that's what we're going to do. We all suffer together, right? Not happy about it, but if that's the way it's got to be, that's the way it's got to be. But slowly but sure, restaurants here in Michigan are now closed other than takeout, drive-through windows. That's it. Our governor, Democrat governor, Gretchen Whitmer, decided to close all Michigan schools, I think, a tad prematurely. She could have given a week's notice. She said on a Friday, we're closing down schools Monday. Yeah, I'm sure the teachers and the administrators and the parents, of course, would like to have had just a smidgen more notice. Gretchen, I know time is of the essence, right? That's what everybody says. But I don't think it would have hurt to have another 2-3 days even instead of 1 day notice, basically, or a weekend notice. But she quickly, like the governor of Ohio, quickly closed up shop, sent no more school, and today they said in the morning, they had a press conference, no more dining at restaurants. I went to a restaurant on Sunday. I did my part to stoke the economy a little bit, had lunch out, took my sanitizer in with us, and we washed up when we came through the door. We cleaned everything as we were there. The lady that waited on us was in her 70s. I'm thinking, ooh, she's gambling, isn't she? She's out there gambling. Nah, she was great. She's doing her job, right? And I don't know if they could get other people. It was a little divey bar, but they got great hamburgers. I won't say where, I guess. I don't know that I should. But a place that I think has got good burgers. So we went out. We did it. Had a beer and a burger. And then I stopped at Kohl's. I knew what I wanted. In and out. Boom. Real quick. So I spent a little bit this weekend trying to do my part to get the economy going. And I would recommend, just use your brains. Don't go somewhere super busy. Don't completely change your life. If you can avoid people, use the hand wash, sit in the far corner. I think most, well, you're not going to go out and eat anyways until this ends. But you can certainly still do takeout, right? So order your takeout, do the things you got to do. Try and live as normal as possible in the circumstance.